excited to talk about AI vending and all the cool stuff. And we're going to dive into the unattended retail industry, which I think is a great industry. I call it a gateway business because perhaps you want to keep the W-2 job, perhaps you need tax write-offs. There's a lot of use cases, and this business can scale into a full-time business, which hopefully can replace your income. So my name is Beau Eckstein, business ownership coach. I'm also 26, 27 years in lending and real estate background, all that fun stuff. Been doing this for a long time, helping people in all sorts of prior occupations get into business ownership, whether it's a gateway business or it's a full-time franchise or a business opportunity. We help people do business acquisitions. We structure SBA financing, and we help people find and fund their ideal business. So what you'll discover today, a business that practically runs itself. I wouldn't maybe go that far. You spend about 1 hour per week per machine, but you can also hire a gig worker to do most of the heavy lifting for you. So why this model is exciting right now? Why is it so exciting? It's essentially an AI vending machine opportunity, a business model that was built for the future. So this is the company that we work with. Started in 2007. And basically evolved and now launched the AI vending machines, the AI coolers. And now why is now the time to pay attention? Because we're kind of disrupting. It's vending versus retail. Well, you might say, well, a traditional vending machine might have an average ticket of $1.75. Now, remember, wherever you're located, the average ticket is going to vary, especially on the products. So AI vending creates a better shopping experience. Products can be touched, evaluated, and put back. This encourages more items per transaction. And the technology behind it all is AI plus computer vision, which equals precision and simplicity. So it knows the shape, it knows the color, it knows the size. It identifies instantly the product. So there's no checkout, no theft. At least there might be theft, but it's going to be tracked and it's going to be linked to an Apple Pay or a credit card. Just grab, close, and go. And the beautiful thing is too, is you as the business owner can unlock everything from a mobile wallet, and so can the customer. They can make a purchase with a QR code. The door unlocks from there. So you take your phone, you scan it, it pops up, it links to your Apple Pay, or you can put in a credit card, and then you open the door and you find the products you want. And you take those out, close the door, and then you're charged for those items. So in this example, somebody picks up a Coke, puts it down, says, I don't want calories, gets a Diet Coke. The technology knows that. They're only going to be billed once that's closed and for the products they take out. The system adjusts automatically, easy and seamless for every user. A cool modern retail experience in just 30 seconds. AI vending works in all kinds of locations. It works in apartment complexes. You can sell milk, eggs, meal kits, etc., protein shakes, snacks. You can even in hotels they're doing essentials, toothbrush, those kind of things. Deodorant for hotels, for office spaces, fresh lunches, energy drinks, healthy options. For college campuses, they're going to be able to read the meal cards and build the meal cards. Everywhere you'd see a vending machine, an AI vending is a better fit. It's a better experience, and it's for better locations. Equals better locations, actually. Why this business is easier to launch? It's got a higher product. You can have a selection of products, right? Because there's no coils. You don't need the coils. A traditional vending machine has coils, which often causes problems. There's no keypads, motors, or coin mechanisms. There's fewer maintenance issues, which equals lower costs. You can change things remotely, and it also collects all of the sales tax that's needed. You can have fresh, you can have frozen, snacks or meals, and basically you decide, or where you put the unit they'll help you decide what's going to be the best products to put in there. Configure units, match any location. You can have a single cooler. You can have multiple coolers. You can choose the mix. You can even have, they make this system that warms up the food products right next to these that you can bolt on. And you expand locations as you grow. Boost profits with these in-machine advertisings. So on the top of the vending machine, there's a screen. You can have advertisements. You can make an additional revenue stream. You can have local businesses, so they're paying you to promote right there. So there's definitely multiple streams available in these machines. Not just a product business, but it is an opportunity. This isn't a franchise. There's no royalties. You own it all. It's a perfect for semi-absentee owners, right? A lot of us want to own these businesses semi-absentee. Well, a lot of the businesses that say they're semi-absentee, it's also, when you come to find out, it's a lot more work, right? And so this business, I think, personally, you understand the components. You spend about an hour per week per machine between going to Costco, Sam's Clubs, etc. Eventually, as you grow the business, you can hire that gig worker, or maybe perhaps you have a child in high school that drives, and instead of giving them allowance for doing nothing, they become part of this business with you. This is great for people keeping a W-2 job. No employees to manage. You could hire gig workers like we were just talking about. You can keep full-time benefits while building your business. You can step into ownership with minimal overhead. And the group I work with, their role, they help you start the business. They help you run the business, meaning they're going to be coaching you at every step of the way. And they help you continue to grow. They do white glove delivery to your market. So they're going to be taking the machines and helping you install them at the locations. They're going to help you get the tools, the software to run it all. They don't leave you high and dry. They actually send you to a 2-day training to launch the business fast so you understand all the moving parts. You have lifetime coaching and business support. And the group also helps you secure great locations. The U.S. vending machine market was valued at a little over 15 billion in 2024, and it's projected to grow to almost 18 billion by 2030. In 2023, vending and micro market sales surged from 21 billion to 26 billion, surpassing pre-pandemic benchmarks. The U.S. has over 7 million vending machines, about one for every 50 people. A little over 14 million U.S. consumers already shop at unattended retail locations, with 48.6 million more willing to do so. The average vending machine generates $525 a month, contributing to an $18.2 billion industry. The future of retail is here. This was a kind of a high-level deep dive. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the business. I just wanted to go through the slides first. Essentially, why I like this business a lot, and you might enjoy this too, is because many of us, although we want to maybe quit the W-2 job or start our own business, it's very hard to transition. Maybe we don't have enough in reserves, or maybe we actually enjoy our W-2 job, but we know we need to build some sort of legacy. Whatever the situation is, vending is a good opportunity because essentially you're buying vending machines, which and I'm not a CPA or tax attorney, but the reason I love this business is because you're buying an asset that you could depreciate. So if you buy $100,000 of vending machines, if you set it up correctly with Section 179 and bonus depreciation, potentially you can offset some of the other earned income you have. Now, I'm not a CPA, but these are the things why I think this business is a good business. Additionally, time commitment, and you can scale this business over time, right? You can start with 10 machines or 12 machines. You can get those up and running. Then next year, maybe you had a good year on your W-2 and you need some tax write-offs. You buy a couple more. They're pretty easy to finance as well. And when you really look at this from a cash flow perspective, where I went wrong early on is I had this thesis that I was going to buy a bunch of rental properties in the Midwest. I live on the West Coast. And I was like, I'm going to cash flow all this. So I was buying these inexpensive houses. I bought them I did a good job buying really cheap, good assets. at the time. This was like 2013, 14, and things were still very discounted. And the goal was to get up to a certain cash flow range. Well, the problem is that every time I was, getting paid out by my property manager, I look at the maintenance of these properties, and cash flow really doesn't exist till later down the road, right? Like, I think real estate long-term is a great investment. I love real estate and I'll continue to invest in it, but the cash flow wasn't really there. And then if I really looked at it today, right, depending on where you live, what does a rental property cost, right? Will it even cash flow with what happened during COVID and the inflation? So if you're really looking to increase your cash flow, it's not really necessarily real estate, unless you maybe do a short-term rental that's in a good market. But really, cash flow is going to come from an operating business. And vending is a business where it's a gateway business, and you get a lot of support, and it's a business that you can run with the W-2. And then you take that with the depreciation, so you can potentially offset some of the earned income you make, and you really look at it. Now, let me also point something out. Let's just say you bought 10 vending machines, and that was about $100,000. We could finance up to, unapproved credit, right? Essentially, if you have good credit and meet the benchmarks, we can get SBA financing, and we can finance 90% of the total cost. So meaning if you bought $100,000 of vending machines and you wanted another 15,000 or 20, let's say 20,000 of working capital to ramp up the business, the time you get the machines set up. And so your total project cost is 120 grand. I can finance 90% of that, right? So you write a check you wire in 12 grand, and the rest is funded by the SBA loan, right? And so you also just built in $20,000 of working capital. So essentially, you really are leveraging completely, right? So for a low money down opportunity, I love vending, and it's very scalable. There's people that have multiple employees. There's people that have big warehouses. That's their whole thing. So it's not even though it's going to take you more than 10 or 12 machines, most likely, to get to the replace your job status, you have a road there. And also, it's a good business where it's more of a side hustle. Maybe you want just 10 or 12 machines, and you want that revenue because it's going to help you save more to invest in real estate, or it's going to help you to get to a point where you're more comfortable to transition out of the W-2 if that's what you want to do. So there's a lot of ways to go with it. Some of the candidates I work with got into vending first, and now they're getting into different franchises, different business opportunities, because now they have a little bit of cash flow coming in on top. They might own a couple rental properties. Everybody has a different situation, but if you look at the full kind of arsenal of this business, I do think it's something to look at, and it resonates with a lot of people, because they're like, hey, I'm not ready to quit and run this home service business where I've got 4 or 5 employees. I got to buy trucks and vans, and there's a lot more sales and marketing component to that business. So that's why I think vending is a good business. And with these AI coolers, I do think the majority of property owners and schools and hotels are going to prefer machines like this, because you're able to put a larger selection of product in there, not just the Cokes and the candy bars and the protein chips. So that's another reason. So I really rate this business as one of the businesses out of all the businesses I represent, that this one, for many people, is a better fit than going into some sort of business where they're doing B2B or home service. There's lots of businesses out there. This isn't the only thing I represent. We help people get into painting companies. But I would say a lot of people, when I present different opportunities, resonate with this type of opportunity in general. So if you want to learn more, you can simply go to vendingwebinar.com, and you can schedule a discovery call with myself, and we'll meet. And I get notified, then we'll send you a link, and then you schedule a call. And then we can just discuss options. I could break down the SBA financing. Besides helping people get into different business opportunities, I am an SBA loan broker. I help people every day, not just in business like vending, but in all sorts of franchises. I do a lot of business acquisition financing. I understand SBA to a high level. And SBA is in my opinion, one of the greatest wealth building tools out there. If you have good credit, you have a little bit of outside income, you're a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident of the United States, it's probably pretty probable that you can get financing. And SBA financing is high leverage financing. A portion of that loan is guaranteed by the federal government. Banks, credit unions, non-bank SBA lenders make these loans. So what I do is I help people grow, right? I take them, I get them into their first business. Maybe it's vending, maybe it's a franchise, maybe they're doing a business acquisition. Then after 2 years, let's just say you had a huge vending operation, very profitable business. Well, now after 2 years, you have good tax returns for that business. You can actually go get up to 100% financing to buy a building. Maybe you buy a warehouse space, right? So there's a lot of wealth building tools within inside of this whole business realm. And then you got to learn about the tax, right? The tax strategy. Owning, when you purchase equipment and look and Google Section 179 and Google bonus depreciation, understand how that can help you to keep more money in your pocket year in and year out. So getting creative there, I think, is another big play with vending. And then you can also branch out. You can branch out into other types of avenues. A lot of we work with other business models, coffee vending businesses. Well, it's not vending; it's coffee as a service. So you work with companies that have 50 plus employees, and you place very nice coffee machines, and the employer typically pays for it every time an employee pours a cup of coffee or has a cup of coffee made. That's 80 or 90 cents getting debited from that employer. So there's businesses like that. Those are recurring revenue type businesses. So once you get into this whole unattended retail space, there's a lot of ways you can grow. And I think this is a great starting point. So if you're not ready to make a move today, that's perfectly fine. Just stay plugged in with us. I think eventually when you're ready, we'll be here because we're not going anywhere. So thanks everyone. Appreciate y'all. See you soon.
If you're looking to acquire a business, stop scrolling on Biz Buy Sell and visit franchiseresellelistings.com. We'll do a customized search. You can get on our weekly distribution where we're sending new inventory weekly to your inbox. So visit franchiseresellelistings.com and opt in today. See you there. Hey guys, Beau Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.